All right, y'all. So I have my ex-roommate, TK, here in studio today. I am literally like, I have not seen TK since Coachella, and we saw each other very briefly.
And we were drunk, and it was like, Coachella, what are you doing?
Yeah, we were being crazy.
Yeah.
And we were in a huge group. So I haven't like caught up with TK, and I was like, you know what? Let's just do that on today's episode. Let's catch up.
Fuck, I forgot one of your packages, that sweater thing. I was going to bring it.
Thing?
It was like a bougie cashmere thing that I've been keeping to give to you.
Well, I've been downtown. I actually like went downtown for something recently. To shoot something in a studio. And I passed right by our apartment. And I like looked up and like saw our unit. And I was like, I should text TK and tell her I'm here. But then I was like stressed
come
about
over anytime.
Finding parking. I also have a package that's so old from Cult Naked.
No, that's it.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay, good. That's the one I wanted.
Yeah. That's the one that I have and I've saved.
Yeah.
Because the rest of them I'll just be like, return to sender.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Perfect.
But
so they know that I'm not living there. So some of my Dallas apartment, they don't do that. So they've been keeping all my packages, and then they just like will throw them away. And I'm like, the brand's not going to know that I'm gone. I can only tell them so many times.
Yeah, and you move a lot.
I move all the time. I mean, I moved 3 times since I saw you.
Yeah.
Or since we lived together.
It's bananas.
In December.
I don't know how you do it.
I don't know how I do it either. We live in an Airbnb. That's how. And we rent furniture.
It's like you're always slightly on vacation.
Yeah, and I also am not. It makes me sad because I'm getting a lot of home collaborations lately, like the thing that I wanted in this life.
Yeah.
And I can't put anything anywhere. And I miss like obviously like our living room, our iconic living room with the iconic couch. I miss having like a space that I'm really proud of. You know? It just helps. It makes everything easier.
Yeah.
All day.
I get that.
And you've kept the worm couch.
I have kept the worm couch. I still haven't gotten a media console thing for underneath. It's just one of those things where I'm like, I have to measure it.
Yeah.
It's like, it's so hard.
Exhausting.
Me. Yeah. No, I'm kidding. But dead ass, like I need to measure it and order one.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, what do I want? I think I want to do black because we had a wood one. We had the black one and then I wanted wood. I don't know. And then
I feel like black wood would be nice because it would still keep like, it would like add a warmth into our space. Our space. Like I still live there. But like I feel like our space was so contemporary that you do need like a little bit of warmth in there.
Yeah.
Like I liked our little coffee table. I like the way you've changed the couch up. For those of you who don't know, TK
like,
and I's couch.
We lived together.
We lived together for a year and a half.
Yeah, almost 2 years, really.
Yeah,
it was like
a
7
while.
months, I think.
And TK still lives in that apartment with our couch that we went like viral. I mean, it went viral on TikTok and on Instagram like multiple times. It's like a copy of this one couch from, I think it's called Lean Rosette or Rosé. It's like, I'm not going to say
French.
it like French at all because I don't want to like
butcher it.
Anyways. But anyway, it's like really expensive and we got it from Cardeal Modern. They don't sell it anymore.
I know. I bet the original one maybe got
like
a little
cease and
mad.
desist. Yeah. I
well, because the original one reposted.
Yes, they reposted it, and this is like a $30,000 couch originally. So I'm like, how do y'all know?
The original one, not the one we have.
Yeah. The one we had was a collaboration.
Yeah.
And it lasted
and
us.
it was way less expensive than the 30K one. But the 30K one, the original designer reposted I think it was your photo.
Yeah.
One of our photos of the couch, and they thought it was their own couch.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh shit.
They reached out and they asked me a question about it or something, and I honestly let it sit there for so long because I had so much anxiety. That just goes to show like how bad I am at DMs. Like even brands I want to work with will reach out and I'm like I'm just like nervous, then I'll get back to it later, and then I realize like I ghosted a brand that I really liked. Like I need to stop. I really need to get it together with that whole thing. But
well, it was a little tricky to be like, well, this isn't your couch, but I still want you to I want to work with you.
Yeah, please give me some some home decor. But our couch went viral. We called it the worm couch. We called it the ball sack couch. It just kind of looked like that creature from Star Wars. What that one that's like a big worm,
or the caterpillar from A Bug's Life.
That one too. Yeah. It went viral.
It was like thick and curvy and well, it is.
Kendall Jenner liked it.
Yeah, everyone. Courtney, I think. Wow. I don't know. I still get tagged in it all the time. Yeah. Like even on Pinterest and stuff. I don't know. It's perfectly weird. Like it's not
for our space,
too ugly. Yeah.
I mean, that's what I miss. I miss like looking at my living room and being like, I want to take a picture of this right now. I haven't had that since I lived in our LA apartment in December.
Yeah.
But let's talk about living downtown. How has downtown been?
Okay. I love living downtown, as you know. I originally, I feel like people are always like, actually, it pisses me off whenever I meet someone and they're like, oh, where in LA do you live? And I'm like, I live downtown. They're like, oh, why do you live there? Like, so condescending. Like, I can't imagine meeting someone, them being like, oh, like, I live in WeHo. And I'm like, oh, God. Why would you live there? Like, even if I don't like it, like, it's just such a weird response. And I'm always like, oh, really? Why do you think that? Like, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I don't know. And then they repeat it. And then I'm like, do you realize you sound kind of mean? Anyway, it doesn't like actually bother me, but I just think it's bizarre how how weird people get about downtown. I'm sure you got a little bit of it when you lived downtown.
A lot of it.
Yeah. Downtown's awesome. I moved there because I went to FITM, which is downtown. And I don't know, it was just like the right thing to do at the right time when I moved here from Indiana. And there's just, it's definitely up and coming. Like, I totally understand it's not what it used to be. It used to be like scary. People say it was like, you know, just not a good area of LA. Like,
well, also there are plenty of areas downtown that are not a good area.
Yeah, but as there are anywhere in LA, you know, like there's plenty of areas in Hollywood that aren't really the best or whatever, or aren't the safest. If you're like
I was
a young
walking
girl.
around Beverly Hills today, and I, because that's where I live right now, and I encountered a man that was going insane, and I was probably more scared this morning than I was pretty much any time downtown. Actually,
100%
can happen anywhere.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I really like it. There's a lot of fun things to do. I love sports, so like having the crypto arena right there, aka the Staples Center, is really convenient and nice. Like I can go to random concerts whenever I want. I love Whole Foods, and I'm really close to a Whole Foods, and like the food downtown's amazing. They also have great like rooftop bars. It's just like,
well, we were also walking
grungy
distance to that kind of stuff. So like Whole Foods, Sweet Green, my Pilates, coffee.
Yeah.
Like,
I've been wanting to text you. I want to go to that Pilates spot.
Yeah. I forget what it's called.
What's it called?
Okay, I'll send it to you. I could just look it up on the map.
Okay,
like I know where it was, but there's everything right there, and like I did like how easy it was to walk to things.
Totally, it feels like if like, because I've always wanted that like Sex in the City vibe. So like having that downtown, like in LA, because nowhere else in LA you can really get that. Having that for a moment, I'm not gonna live there forever, but like having that Sex in the City girl life with my big windows and the buildings and the like grunge
the
and
view.
and all the cars and the chaos. Like I like that for right now where I'm at in my life. So yeah, I don't know, I dig it, but I will say, the next place I want to live, or the next place I move to, I definitely want to be able to walk outside for a long time with my headphones on, not stressed out.
Yeah, because we could really only walk within, I would say, like 4 blocks by 4 blocks, and it was everything you needed within those 4 blocks, and it was really clean. In the area we lived, we also paid, do you know, like we paid that tax where people can't like camp or anything like that. There was like some extra security around there that people just have very specific ideas of downtown, and I think in that area we were like in a little clean bubble. You know what I mean? Also like Starbucks, Phil's, everything was right. Zara, Target, like what there was a lot going on.
It's fun. And there's a lot of like, surprisingly, a lot of events and shoots, and like anytime like Alicia or I have a shoot, it's always downtown. Yeah. Or, you know, just random stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff downtown.
Easy to take photos. Like I would like walk down the street and I'm like,
aesthetic
great.
Everywhere.
Yeah, it's perfect. So I enjoyed my time downtown. People always ask me about that. So
I was like, why'd you do that?
Well, did it like come back alive again? Well, first of all, I will say, moving downtown during quarantine, the downtown space was different, but the apartment was so fucking great. Like, I couldn't have chosen to have a better, like, quote, quarantine experience anywhere. Our
apartment's lit.
It's awesome. And you don't get that anywhere in LA unless you're going to pay, like, literally $10,000 a month.
At least,
At least, at the bare minimum. With all the amenities and, like, everything that we had, I think our apartment, for me, was the reason I moved downtown.
Oh, 100%. Even now, like, why I'm still downtown is because of the apartment. Like, I fucking love it. I really do. I love the windows. It genuinely makes me so happy. Yeah. Not many things or people make me as happy as my apartment. And I'm like, you know what? If that's what it is, and if I'm paying this ridiculous rent, for the time being, this is worth it to me.
Yeah. So it's worth it too. Because whenever
1,000,000%.
I moved out, TK was like, do I want to continue to live here by myself? Like, do I want to make your room like you know, my office kind of space, and you were really debating that in your head.
Yeah,
So you were happy you did it.
I was so stressed out. I am so happy I did it.
Okay.
Yeah. I will say it is definitely expensive, and yeah, it's super expensive, and I don't want to be paying as much as I am. However, I do think that it's worth it, the amount I use the apartment, and it's like, it's literally my set. You know, I'm filming in there all the time, your extra room. I also just needed the space.
Yeah.
Like, we do not have storage in that place. I'm bursting out the seams right now.
I mean, we had one storage closet, and it was like one of those closets where we just
don't open it.
Everything on top of each other, and like you just had to squish the doors closed. So you're like really living out the space now.
Oh yeah, I love it. I also like, I feel like I love hosting, so I've had a bunch of people over, a bunch of pre-games. It's also like cool at night when you see like the lights at night, and I have all these like stupid little like neon lights that I'll put on when people come over. I love your
neon lights. Yeah,
when people come over, and I like to host, and of course we have like a bunch of beverages and stuff
all the time
in our fridge. So in my fridge now. And it's like, I don't know, it's super fun to host and have people over, and like, I don't know, like when in Rome, like I'm young, I have this awesome crib, I want to have people over.
That's so cool. I mean,
it's fun.
I miss that apartment so much. And yeah, I feel like moving around so much, I just have had places that I like, and I try to make the best that I can. Like, I actually loved our DC apartment. It was great.
It looked really cute.
I mean, the whole
similar to
view.
Ours.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't decorate exactly how I wanted, because Joe was like, we need color. Like, I don't want like muted tones. Like, you added a lot of color once I left. You had a lot of red. But like Joe wanted like the greens and all that stuff. And I liked how our view was the river. So like whenever I woke up, it was like serene. You know what I mean?
I liked the green couch you guys did.
I liked it. I mean, it fit perfectly in the space. It was great for that space, but I just haven't had a moment where I feel the way I did about our apartment, and I miss that so much.
That actually makes me good. Like that makes me be like, okay, it is worth it.
Yeah. I've lived a bunch of different places at this point, and that was like the best place I ever lived in terms of how I felt waking up there.
I know. I'm gonna miss also the daylight. Like the lighting is so good.
Yes.
I'm going to miss like one day when I move and I get like a house or a townhouse or whatever. Like I'm really gonna miss that like city apartment view with the windows.
I love it. So talking about your city girl life, because we haven't discussed this
city girl life,
we might have to censor some stuff, but like just in terms of like names and things like that. And you can give me like little hints maybe if I know something.
Okay.
So how is TK taking on her love life in 2022?
I feel like, okay, can we talk about me turning 25?
Yes.
And then that'll go in there.
Let's go
into that.
So backstory, by the way, on the 25, I've always told TK, like, so I'm 28 and you just turned 25. I'm turning 29 freaking December. I'm like inching up there.
That is crazy.
Crazy.
What the heck?
Life is passing by, and I actually fucking love it. I know people say that all the time. Like, they're like twitching their eye, like, oh, I love this so much.
Yeah.
Like, I actually do genuinely love it. I was telling my mom the other day, like, I was like, I think I'm meant to be in my late 30s and early 40s. Like, I think that's gonna be like my time. You know what I mean?
I actually see that for you. I'm not just like, I know it's like, obviously it's gonna happen, but I feel like from an outsider's perspective, it seems like you're thriving and genuinely happy. Like, not just like, you know, when you're like young and in your younger 20s, like you get to go to a random party and you're so excited for a moment, and then it's like, it feels like things are just like coming, like laying out the way you've always wanted. And like the way that you even have found Joe, and you've been dating him, and I don't know when he's gonna when you're here, but I hope it's relatively soon, whatever. Like, you guys just in this beautiful relationship you've been making together, and I fucking love Joe.
I know.
Yeah, I'm obsessed
with
Joe.
TK, I think you might have been the first friend of mine to meet Joe.
Probably.
Yeah.
Anyway, the way that has laid out for you is like how I hope that it lays out for me, and with your age, in perfect timing. Yes. In sync with your age. It's like perfect.
It's perfect. But I was like, just
like,
thinking,
how lucky are you?
I'm so lucky. And sometimes I have to convince myself every day, and not even at this point, I'm like, you know, I'm spiritual and everything, so like I'm not necessarily convincing myself, but I'm like, sometimes I look at my life, and of course there are things that I get really upset about. Like, I've had a tough week this week, but like overall I'm very lucky. And then I kind of try to remind myself to not look at it as lucky, just be like, you deserve this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I have to convince myself. I feel like we all should be like that, instead of like feeling guilty or feeling lucky, like feeling like, duh. Like, I should get everything that I want. Like, why would I not get everything that I want? I've really been into that lately, and I've been into like human design and like looking at things. Have you ever heard of human design?
Yeah.
I was listening. I got the My Human Design app because Anna Grace Newell
I've
posted
heard
about it.
And
I got it and I listened to it all today, like my type and everything. So I'm like, everything makes sense in the way that you're describing it. Like my human design app thing was like literally explaining it today. Anyway, I was telling my mom, I was like, I picture myself being like, you know, the woman in Californication, like the mom who's like, she's like old, like an older woman and living in Venice. Like I
haven't seen it.
Tall and skinny. She's got long hair, and she's like very just like, she just looks cool. Okay. She just like looks like she was like really beautiful though. She like is an ex-model, so like very tall and angelic looking in that way, like Victoria's Secret model kind of. Anyway, I just imagine myself being like that, like no makeup, super long hair, like verging on hippie, but like luxe hippie, for you, at like 45, and I'm like chilling, and I have, you know, children and all the things. So anyway, I'm excited. All that to say, I'm excited to be getting older. I also think I look better as I'm getting older, but we're going back to the 25 thing. So I always told TK, like with our, you know, slight age difference, because you're at like my little sister's age.
Yeah.
And my little sister just had a baby.
Which is insane. I saw it on Instagram.
Insane.
Also, when I was in Dallas, Brooks was like, Payton's little brother was like, are you here?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, Brooks,
said that?
Yeah, I'm like, Brooks, what did you want me to do? Like, DM you to hang out?
What?
I'm sorry, I love Brooks, but like,
oh my God.
Next time, Brooks, we can hang out.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he does that to Joe too.
Okay. Well, he can show me around Dallas.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's going to go to college in Dallas.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Where do you think he's going to go?
So he committed to a school called DBU, which
awesome.
is a good baseball school.
Love that.
It kind of mirrors a little bit like our private school upbringing. Like, so he likes the smaller,
cute,
intimate vibe.
I'm so excited for him.
Yeah, he's excited. He committed a little while ago.
And he's a good little baseball player.
He's pretty good. Yeah, he's Joe. So Joe's the coach of that team played with Joe's brother for a really long time. So Joe would like go up to the practices and hang out and like see everybody.
That's so fun.
So yeah, he's committed. So he'll be in Dallas.
Yay!
But
congrats.
Anyway,
shout out Brooks.
Shout out Brooks. Shout out Riley.
Shout out Riley. Shout out Brooks. Wait, what is your
niece's name?
Oh yeah,
Reese.
Why did I almost say that? I should have known. Shout out Reese.
Shout out Reese. She's so cute. She actually was born like 8 weeks early. So she was 4 pounds, 10 ounces. Wow. And she's been in the NICU, not for anything, like nothing is happening that's serious. Like everything's looking fine, everything's looking up, but just as like, I guess it's like a weight requirement. Like if you're under a certain weight, you have to be in the NICU. So Riley and her husband Noah have been spending a lot of time there. But yeah, Riley's also 25. She got married at like 22. But I told TK, like from my perspective, 25 is like the year I traveled through Europe. I spent like all of my fucking money on traveling and just being wild and crazy and doing all the things. I started to get more confident at that age, and like, I don't know, I just took things less seriously. And then I would say 26 is the year that I kind of like got my shit together, and I started like being like real adult, like dating Joe and like focusing on, you know, my next, like approaching Joe with my timeline, being like, I want to do this and I want to live together for this long, and then we can talk proposal. Like I just kind of knew things after that. Things started clicking. Obviously I don't know everything. You have to leave, you know, room for the unknown. But I always told TK like that magic number for me was 25. So talking about your 25th birthday I wanted to do that today too. Okay. So I'm glad you brought it up.
Yeah, Payton always drilled into my head. She was like, 24 was the worst year of my life. 25 was the best year of my life.
Yeah. So I'm like, if you're having any problems, like I was also there. I promise it got way better after.
Okay. You know what's interesting? I feel like I turned 25 and I'm having like year 24 year.
Oh, really?
I think this is like not the worst year of my life, but like
rough.
Yeah.
I was
going
feeling
through
rough.
a quarter life crisis.
Yes. So I think
this is making me feel better. Does it get better?
I mean, yeah. I think some people talk about, I've actually heard this lately. Some people talk about how I talk about 25 for their like at 26, and they like the year of their brain changing and stuff. Oh, it's 25. And like think like some people say now it's like 26 that your brain is completely formed, whatever it is. It's around that time.
Yeah.
For me, 25 was not by any means an easy year. You know, it was just a year of a lot of metamorphosis, I would say. Like I really changed during that year, and there was some, you know, run-ins with old friends and like letting go of a lot of friends, and that was tough for me.
I definitely feel transition time. Like yes. I feel a lot of like I relate to you in the sense like, oh, I felt more sure of myself. Like I feel more sure of myself in like saying no to things or knowing what's like right from wrong. Like I feel like I used to just like let a lot of things slide. Yeah. And now I'm being like, no, like stern with my yeses and my nos.
It's the clarity. Yeah. I think that's where what I define 25 by. And I don't mean, again, like I don't mean like it was a great year by any means. 24, I was just in a deep depressive episode. So that was bad.
Okay.
And then 25 was like, it was just transition. And even though there were bad things happening and like I was stressed about a lot of stuff, I did take the leap to, you know, I had enough money to go to Europe. You had time to go to Europe this year. And I like did all the things and I made the friends and I lost the friends and it was transition and stressful, but it was so much, who I was to myself was so much clearer, which is the thing that would lead me to all the transitions and the, you know, cutting of ties and the making of new ones, though it wasn't always easy.
Okay, yeah. That makes me feel better because in my head you were just like, slay, like bus club, another club, no sleep, like cut 25. So that makes me feel better. I definitely feel different. Yeah. And it's like hard to explain, but I feel different. You should title this like quarter life crisis or something.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to do a quarter life crisis guide, like a full one. Because I got this idea from someone I had a meeting with like in New York and she works, I forget, it's I think it's called Nude PR or something. I forget the name, but she was so cool and like just like we got into talking and I like made a full list of like quarter life crisis things. But yeah, that's a good idea.
Because my quarter life crisis stuff I feel like resonates. Yeah. And I don't know, I definitely feel more sure of myself, but also like the least sure of myself. Like I feel super confused. I've been craving transition. I've been just the most sure and unsure I've ever been.
That is transition. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because you're going into a new direction now.
Yes, and it's scary.
It's hard, yeah.
It's so scary. And I feel like 23 and 24, I had really great years just because a lot was happening for me. A lot of change. It was like quick. And, you know,
most of it was good.
Yeah. And exactly. And now I'm just like, I definitely feel growing pains and I'm growing up and I'm not wanting to like say yes and like drop everything to help everyone at every second. Like I always have. And so, yeah, I'm just realizing like the value of me and my time and which is like all, I get it, like hearing from the outside of the world, you're like, oh my God, that's so great. And I'm like, no, but it's scary.
It's really scary.
It's easier to like drop everything and help someone else, you know, well, or help everyone else.
Wish you had like a guide. Like you wish like, is this the time where I care about myself more? Or is it a different time? Like, is this person really needs me? Or is this going to be helpful to me down the line? Like, do I, you know, it's hard. It's hard because no one's telling you what to do. And now you have to go with your gut. Yeah. Which is hard.
It is really hard. But it's been, the one thing that I've been like sticking to is knowing that there was a time once when I had no idea what I was doing. I relate to what I relate to the most is when I had graduated college and I had no idea where I was going to end up or who I was going to work for or what I was going to be doing. Yeah. And like, I kind of feel like that now in a different way. And, you know, when that was going on, I knew the stars were aligned already for me. Yeah. The universe, God, the spirit, whatever you believe in, like had it all set up. And I was just like filling in the pieces or filling in the holes. And that's what's happening right now is like, I'm freaking out. I'm spiraling. Shit is set up to happen and it will happen, but it is scary and I'm trying to embrace it, but it's just hard. It's scary. I'm scary. Uncomfortable.
That's good. Yeah. That's really good. I mean, I think, well, now I feel like I'm feeling comfortable even in the whole chaos thing. And I think a lot of it has to do with finding someone like Joe to like partner up with.
Yeah, I'm looking for my Joe. Yeah, eventually.
And like I think a big thing for me around the same age, 25, 26, because 26 is when I met Joe, is not chasing the wrong things. Because this also goes with my human design. It's like I respond to things in my environment. I don't create like change basically. So like if someone offers me something and I have like an intuitive like yes like feeling, then I'm supposed to do it. And if I don't have that intuitive yes. If it's like a maybe or a no, it's like a fuck no. Like, don't do that. And so like with men, for example, I realized I was doing this before I even knew what human design was and all this stuff. And like I actually started like reading about this, and you know me, I'll give like anything like this a shot. I'm like horoscopes, human design, like whatever, like I'll read into it. And I noticed I was doing that with men, and before I kind of like was, I don't know, there'd be like a guy that I thought was right for me, and I was wondering why it wasn't working, ruminating. And the only reason I met Joe is because I fucking stopped doing that and I started freeing myself up. And then when Joe came into my life, I was like, oh yeah, this is easy. It was like the fucking easiest thing I've ever done in my life. But it's only because I freed myself up. But I knew myself enough, and I was comfortable enough to be like, okay, I just trust the universe, myself. You know, I'm not looking for anything. It's just I'm available for the right person. Otherwise, I'm just chilling. You know?
Yeah. Honestly, that's going back to guys. Like, I feel like that's where I'm at right now. Is like I'm not in the mood to like. I want to be chased. Like I want someone to like realize my worth and my value because I know it. Yeah. And to, you know, put in the work to like get that or whatever. And you know, I want to do the same for them. Yeah. I feel like lately or like prior to this realization I've been having is I like putting in all this stupid like work and thoughts for nothing. And I'm like, even if I got what I wanted, I wouldn't want it.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. You like I feel like we've talked about this. You like the idea of a lot of different things. I love the idea of things.
And I like know that I'm not stupid when I feel like I'm not sometimes.
Well, I do that all the time. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I like the idea. I did that with men before. I do it even with Joe now. I'm like, sometimes I make him into a person that he's not, and he's just like, that's just not me. And I'm like, you're right. I can't like control my idea of you. Yeah. You know?
That's interesting.
It happens in relationships. We all have like a vision in our head about how things are supposed to go, I think, at least. So like not controlling it has been a thing for me in pretty much every area of my life. But I think, having an idea of something and actually that thing, they're just completely different.
100%. I feel like also I haven't literally until like my real ex-boyfriend, like I have like fake exes. My real ex-boyfriend, he like I have not taken anyone seriously since him, and like now I'm kind of craving to take someone seriously. And that's like the first time I've genuinely felt like that in a long time. So I'm excited to, I don't know, I've always dabbled on the apps, but I've been like, I feel like being more filtered with like who I reply to or who I'm going on dates with or whatnot.
Yeah. Has your type changed at all? Like, what do you think? Are you still into, what was it called? The
307s.
307.
I mean, yeah, of course I love 307. You know what I will say? I feel like as of lately, I need more spice, which
That's
you've always told me.
You know that, yeah.
I definitely need someone that like is a lot more spicy than a 307.
So can you explain for everyone what a 307 is?
Yeah, a 307 is a guy that hypothetically has 307 or less followers, but like understands people that have like 307,000. Okay. So like it's literally like your normal finance dude, the guy you grew up with in your hometown, always reliable, always nice, always shows up to things. You know, has had a few relationships here or there, has had one douche phase, but like at the end of the day, he's like a reliable guy, orders a beer at a restaurant, is happy, thinks you're so hot.
Simple, happy, hot. Yeah.
Yeah. Thinks you're so hot. Like it's easy like to get him going. Do you know what I mean? Like it's just like he's easy to impress.
He's just a dude. You know? Just a dude.
Like literally like the highlight of his life is like his fantasy team.
Yeah.
And that's just like that's his life. And we love him.
The fantasy thing is killing me lately.
It's crazy. It's actually insane. There's nothing comparable to the way guys are sluts for fantasy. Yeah. Like there's nothing comparable for women. Well, no, people are like Bachelor. I'm like, no.
Oh, I feel like
doesn't even compare.
Housewives and Bachelor are the
Housewives
closest thing.
Housewives does not compare though.
It's like the closest that we have.
I guess.
Like they're more insane than like Housewives watchers.
Oh, 1,000,000%.
Yeah.
And Bachelor.
Yeah. They're crazy.
I'm like, I want a fantasy for Dorit and Erica Jane and Kyle. Okay.
Let's make it.
My number one pick would be Kyle Richards.
I am not a Housewives girl.
That's crazy because you like quite literally are a housewife.
I mean, if I had my house, it would be true. But I just
you would love Beverly Hills, I feel.
I mean, I've watched a little of New York because Kelsey, one of my best friends, loves New York. And that was her favorite. I've heard a lot of things about, is it Utah?
Yeah. Okay. I've been or Salt Lake City.
Lake, yeah.
I've been rewatching New York from the beginning with like Bethany Frankel, and she like just came out with Skinny Girl, like which is iconic. But you should really watch Beverly Hills because it is bananas.
Well, I do know I like Lisa. I like Lisa Vanderpump.
Oh, Lisa Vanderpump.
Yeah. I know
Vanderpump's off the show right now.
Yeah, I know I do respect her. And because I've seen her around too, and I'm like, every time I see her, I'm like, oh my gosh, she just like looks regal when she's walking around.
She's like iconic. Yeah. I think I would be speechless if I met her. I wouldn't know what to say.
Oh, she's too perfect. She's like the freaking queen.
But she's also like, I didn't like her in some seasons. She's kind of mean.
Yeah, I like that though.
Okay. See, I like Kyle Richards. She's my favorite. I feel like I'm Kyle.
Kyle seems cool.
Kyle's like,
she's chill.
Yeah, she's chill. She can get crazy. She like knocks people when they're wrong. I don't know. She's a little instigator sometimes.
Is Sonia on? Is that New York?
New York.
Okay.
Yeah, Sonia's crazy too.
I think Sonia's Kelsey's favorite.
Sonia's so funny.
Yeah, of all the people.
Yeah.
Okay, so going back, we're talking about 307s.
Yeah,
this fantasy team.
307s aren't really. I mean, I love them. I'm like down, but I feel like I need more spice in my life. I need someone that like. Just simply has more spice, like a little bit more.
What do you mean by spice?
I mean a little bit more to them.
Yeah.
I don't know, a little bit more diverse. I feel like living in LA, I have so many like different friend groups and so many different perspectives, and I don't want someone that just like grew up in their no tea or no shade, like teach their own. But I want someone that's well traveled, well versed, they have different perspectives. They lived in a big city. They have different types of friends, different types of friend groups.
Interesting.
Interesting. Yeah. Not predictable. I want them to make me better, make me learn more, expand my horizons. I also want them to be freakier, a little bit more sexy. Okay. A little bit more fun in that department.
You're like, I'm sick of pulling the weight.
I want to be tossed and thrown. And I'm kidding, but I'm not really.
Oh my God.
But like I just want someone who's like a fan of me and understands my world and understands my work and respects it, like genuinely, not just like, oh yeah, she does her silly little YouTube videos, like understands the business. I want to be able to talk business with them and talk about my ideas and them genuinely care, because I know someone like people I've grown up with, or even like my dad, like he's happy for me and wants the best for me, but like he doesn't want to build a business with me. And that's okay. It's like I don't really want to build a business with him. Like
it's not compatible in that way.
But I want someone that understands my world, has an entrepreneur spirit about them, and I don't know, I feel like that's a risk taker, and a lot of 307s aren't really risk takers.
Yeah, it's like kind of inherent in what they are.
Yeah, which is, don't get me wrong, I love a 307.
Yeah. I mean, we all have those guys in our lives too. I feel like it's also nice to have one. I feel like Joe kind of sometimes could be considered both. Like there's parts of him that are very much like that.
He's like, Joe's great. I need a Joe.
Yeah,
I need Joe to copy paste.
So many people have told me that. Sometimes I'm like, y'all do not want that. There's some things I'm like, no. But he's great overall. Obviously, all relationships are compromised. Not everyone's perfect.
Yeah.
But it's interesting, like as you're telling me this, I feel like maybe it's this transition phase in your life and like understanding relationships more, but like I feel like you've gone from, much like I have gone from like wanting a guy who can like hang with my friends and like come out with me and like do all the things, to like looking for like a partner. Like you're noticing things like, okay, a good partner for me would be this. Maybe not like a good partner in general, because everyone has their own idea 100%. Of what that is, but like a good partner for me would look like this, rather than just like, oh, like he can come out with me and my friends and like it would be easy and fun, he'd fit in and like it'd be easy.
Prime example, like I don't want to be the only one that has a fun friend group and fun things to do.
Yeah.
Like I want them to be able to be like, hey, we're going to this, my friend's wedding, it's blah 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 blah. Like, you know what I mean? I want them to be able to have fun, cool things, fun, cool people for me to be introduced to, and I want to do the same for them. I do want it to be a partnership.
Yeah, a good match. Joe and I were also talking about the other day, like I think self-evaluation is important, and like a big thing in my life as I started kind of getting more serious about dating was, you know, would I want to date someone like me? And I had to you have to build yourself.
Oh my God, I should journal about this.
Yeah.
Journal entry unlocked.
Like, do I not necessarily deserve, because again, I started the episode saying we all do deserve the most, like everything we want, but like we have to be matching, you know, in the spiritual way of saying like we have to be matching that frequency, or we need to be doing, we need to be a good equal partner to someone like that. And for me, it took me a little while to get there, and I feel like once I got there, that's when the opportunity came into my life. But I just don't, it took me a little while to realize that.
Yeah.
And then Joe and I were talking about the ability to self-evaluate, because some people, I think we're watching Love is Blind, the 3rd season, and like we're looking at some of these people, like are they like looking at themselves, you know what I mean, not physically necessarily, but like looking at their lives, how they're explaining themselves, and then turning around and saying this is what they want in a person, and are they like okay? Are you good?
No.
Like, and it doesn't need to be like, okay, you all make the same amount of money, you do this. Like, it doesn't need to be exactly the same, you know what I mean, on either side, but it's just bringing to this table something, whether, even if it's just like emotional intelligence, you know,
100%.
like you've worked on yourself, you care, and you're ready for the next step, I guess. You have to like really look in the mirror when it comes to dating. Yeah. Before you say what you expect.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
I did that hardcore.
I feel like I'm like about halfway or almost 3/4 of the way to where I would want to be for someone to date me. Yeah. So I definitely feel like I'm in the midst of that, like the thick of that. Like even over this summer, I like randomly had an awful like breakout with my face, and it like really like bummed my confidence. And then like I didn't know what to do, and I was spiraling, and I was confused, and then I would like eat my feelings, and you know what I mean, like we all go through moments. The freaking acne. Ugh. The acne is the worst, especially you're literally like, I just turned 25, like what the fuck is
what's
this
happening?
So prime example, like I then and even now, like now it's getting way better, and it's like things are coming around the corner. I'm the 3/4 of the way there, but like now I'm like starting to see a light at the end of the tunnel, and like where I want to be, and I'm almost there. And once I get there, then I will really spread my dating wings.
And by no means does that mean you have to be a perfect person in order to date anybody.
You'll never be perfect.
Never. And like I still run into things. I'm still working really hard on myself, literally all the time, through whatever different tools I can use. But I think that there was like a baseline that I wanted to be at in terms of confidence and being comfortable, and also being able to be a good partner to someone else. And it took me, I mean, hearing that, I don't remember where I heard it, but like it's probably a freaking Pinterest quote on my Pinterest board as usual. But like that really stuck with me. Yeah. And I feel like I just see it a lot in the outer world when I hear people talking about dating and them saying what they want. And I'm just like looking at these people, not in a judgy way, like they're not bad people, but just being like, this is ridiculous that this is what you want. You know what I mean? Like, how do you partner with somebody like this? And again, it's not like those material life things a lot of the time. It's not the money and looks and things like that, but it's just like the person. You know, like if I want someone reliable, I'm going to have to start being a little bit more reliable as well. Definitely. I feel like I am usually pretty reliable, but like if I want someone honest, I need to be honest. If I want someone that's this, it's just those like personality, I guess, things.
100%. And also I've just been craving like a partner in crime to like run around the city with. I feel like I've just been like, when I moved here, I was like in my girl boss era, and like I mean I still am always in my girl boss era. Like
obviously. I'm not calling it girl boss anymore. I'm boycotting the girl boss.
Okay. No, girl boss is like hilarious to me. I think.
You're saying it ironically.
Yeah. Girl bossing too much. Anyway, but yeah, I've been girl bossing too much. Like I want a partner in crime. And I love my friends, but like, you know, they're growing up. They're getting their own partners. I want my own partner in crime. I want someone to be excited to, you know, come home and tell things to, or, you know, be able to call and tell things to. And like, also I've just been craving like staying in, watching my movies, whatever. And I want to do that with like a hot guy.
Yeah. I mean, don't we freaking all?
Yeah. So
don't we all? Well, that's exciting. Have you gone on any dates or anything like that, or is it just?
Yeah, I've gone on a few dates. One date I went on, it was not good. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't bad, but like I was just like, it was one of those where you're like, why am I doing this? Like, this is a waste of time.
This is the freaking worst.
And now I beat myself up after it. I was like, how did you not see through on the app? Like, why'd you say yes? And in my head, I was convincing myself to go originally because I was like, no, this is what you have to do. Everyone says you have to go on the dates, you have to whatever. And then I went and I was like, I should have listened to my gut.
Yeah.
I know.
I mean, there were so many dates I went on from apps. I mean, when I say so many, I think I went on 3. The first year I lived here. And they were like, 2 of them were like within a week of each other. And then like the last one was after like I went on a date with that guy. I like went on a couple dates with him. And he was okay for the time, like just to do something other than freaking work all the time. But I never had the experience of like, I went on the date and I felt so guilty for going, even though they were bad. Like I could get in the car with a guy and be like, no, like I just know this isn't going to be a thing, but still enjoy the date.
I definitely am glad I went because now I have a good story, blah, blah, blah,
yeah,
blah.
yeah.
I can
and
say
you did it.
Yeah, whatever.
You go to the house.
But like at the end of the day, it just like to me, at the end of the day, it still wasn't productive.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Which is fine. Like
it's fine.
understand that's the part of it. But like it's just annoying.
Yeah.
It's like I would like it if I did like you.
Yeah.
Like that would be a little
somebody.
bit more fun. Yeah.
It's the best, like for me, the best thing was like going on I think I did this like when I was 25. I went on a date with a guy who was just like a cool guy. He was normal, like a slightly dorky guy. Like I'm starting to realize I like a little slightly dorky.
See, I've been going on dates with some dorks. Yeah.
Slightly though. He played
He
played like sports in college, so he's like a big guy and like had a really good job.
Oh, I love big guys.
Big guy. He was cute. He was a little too like clean cut for me, and like my friends were like, this is like too dorky kind of.
Okay.
But I didn't really, I mean, I don't care. He was very smart. And so like going out with him was like, it was fun and it was never serious. And I think we both knew this wasn't like, we weren't dating. Like it was like we were going on dates. If we saw each other out, we'd like pull up a chair and like hang out with friends and stuff. And then like talk about like really interesting things. And I'd hook up with him. And then that was literally it. Yeah. It was just never, and that was like, those kind of things are fun for the time, you know, and it was really fun, but it was never like strings attached. I feel like I always forget about that guy. Actually, I never even really. I'm like wondering what he's doing now.
Hope all is well, babe.
Hope all is well. He deserves something nice in his life, you know.
Totally.
So dates are at a minimum. What about like Europe? Did you meet any cute guys in Europe?
I did. I met one cute guy that I had a fun little fling with.
Where was it?
Croatia.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Funny enough, London.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say London.
London, there were a lot of hot guys. Yeah. It was just kind of hard though because like my friend group, like, well, in London, the one night I couldn't go out. I forget why. I think I was exhausted. I just like, it was like that leg of the trip where you're like, oh my God, I need to stay in. And then the next night we went to a gay bar, which was so fun. It was like, it was this crazy gay bar called Heaven because we were with my friend Trevor.
Yeah.
And our group or whatever went. But I didn't go to like, I didn't meet really like guys that like I want to date. Yeah. And they weren't looking for me either at the gay bar. I was hit on by a few girls though. I was like,
really?
I was like, I'm hot.
I don't think I've ever been hit on by a girl.
It was wild. They're crazy in London.
Well, how did you know you're getting hit on though?
They're touchy more than guys, and I was like, oh, I don't really like that. But,
yeah,
but like I didn't want to be rude. You know what I mean? Like I feel like with guys, I'm like, the fuck. With girls, I was like,
well, I'm like, don't touch me. Yeah, don't fucking touch me.
But
Are you
like,
serious?
Didn't want to be rude because I was like, we can be friends.
I mean, I would never say that to a girl. To a guy, I'm literally like daggers in the face. Yeah. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
I'm like, who the fuck do you think you are? I like become a dude. But it was a girl. I was like, not right there.
Okay, making me nervous.
Yeah, like those. And they're touchy, funny. But whatever. I mean, like. I'm also like not a physical touch person really, unless it is like a big guy I'm like swooning over.
I feel like that's surprising for other people to know about you.
I know.
I feel like because you're so like outgoing and all the things, I feel like when people hear that, it's surprising. Obviously, I lived with you, and thank God you're not a touchy person, because sometimes I'm just like I just can't. I've had roommates like that before, and they were like offended that I wasn't touchy. Like it was like saying something about them, and I'm just glad we didn't have to have that conversation.
I will say it definitely comes out with certain people. Like Ashley, Alicia's sister. Like Alicia, I'm like, don't fucking touch me.
Yeah.
You're my boss. This is weird.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I'm like, stop. And also because she likes physical touch, I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
Her and Ollie, I'm like, y'all are weird. Okay, right. But with like Ashley, since she's like mama bear, and she really is like significantly older than me.
Yeah.
She's like, I think 32. So like, I don't know. She's really always like taken care of me. Like when I went through my parents' divorce, like she was the one that was like, babe, we're getting you into therapy. Like talk to me about it. Like I've cried with that girl. So she's like so motherly that I've like felt comfortable. Like I like it when she touches me or she hugs me, or like she's like a mom in a weird way. But like my friends, I'm like, ew. But my friend Libby, like we can be touchy together or like physical touch. Maybe it's because we don't live near each other, so when I see her I'm like, Libby.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
So yeah, I don't know, it just depends on the person. Kind of
literally not like that with anybody except for Joe. And Joe I am extreme. Like extreme. Like I have to, every time he's laying down, I just have to like lay on him, like stomach to stomach, cheek to cheek, and he's like watching shows and I'm doing that, like just listening to the show. Like it's gross, but I guess it's because I'm so pent up from not wanting to touch anybody that I'm just unleashing it on him. Like I'm like, you're my desire, like my designated person that I get to touch.
I definitely like in conversation when I tap someone's shoulder, I'm like, you know what I mean? I like doing that. I love a little fist bump, a high five, a little chest bump, maybe.
Just nothing like too intimate.
Yeah. Nothing like, I'm not trying to like spoon like with my friends, especially being like big spoon.
Yes. Like some of my girlfriends are super close and like very touchy, and they're very like they'll just like make out with each other.
I don't,
and not for boys. They'll just be like, you want to make out? I'm like, first of all, it sounds weird coming from my mouth, but like it makes sense in context, I guess.
Oh my God, I can't even think about asking you to make out.
They just like kiss. I'm like, how are you guys comfortable with this?
I've definitely like kissed like Libby
when I'm drunk.
Yeah, when I'm drunk.
I mean, Josie sent me a photo 2 days ago, and like we were at the Victorian downstairs.
You've definitely kissed like girls like when you're drunk.
Oh, I kiss Kelsey when I'm drunk.
Yeah,
but like it's like sweet kiss, like kind of thing. But that's when I'm drunk. Then I'm touchy.
Yeah.
There's something, I don't know, there's something about that. I need to talk about that with my therapist a little bit more.
Probably. I also don't think my parents like really, I don't know, I don't, we like never were like touchy feely lovey dovey in my household at all. So like even like I'm like slightly uncomfortable saying I love you to people.
Same.
It's fucked up.
Same.
Yeah.
I have to say love you even to my friends sometimes, and like saying I love you to Joe, I waited 8 months.
Or I'm like, Illy. Yeah, I know. I remember that. Like I have to say Illy or like love you. Like I'm literally immature. I'm like, Illy.
Well, I don't say it to my parents. That's what I do. Like, I do that on the phone with my freaking parents. You know what I mean? I'm like it just something like, and I do love them.
Yeah.
These are all the people I love in my life. I'm like, I would literally take a bullet for you.
To them.
But like, I can't say.
No, my dad will be like, love you, and I'm like, love you. I'm like
hanging up mid-hang up.
Yeah, like I can't, I don't know what's wrong with me.
Yes. No, I feel that like very deeply. It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
That's another thing to talk about with a therapist. But obviously I think that's like common. If you grew up in a certain way, I feel like it's common.
Yeah, I definitely like because I feel like the sports family, like, well, shove it under the rug, you're fine. Yeah. That's genuinely how I grew up, and you know what? I love the way I grew up.
I call it like the gaslighting community. I love it, but I grew up in the gaslighting community. We supported gaslighting, I guess.
Yeah, we definitely did. Yeah. Anyway, I feel like because I was not familiar with like touchy feely, like hug it out, like with my family, like did not promote that. Yeah. So they were promoted like just shove it under the rug. Yeah. Which is like whatever. I'm not mad about it. I just think I definitely have an issue now with like expressing when I love someone actually. Yes. Like I have no problem saying I love you to a stranger or like my Uber driver.
Love you. Yeah.
I like the Uber. I'm like, love you. Bye. Like I'm you know, checking in with like TSA. Love you. But like with my parents or with someone I actually love, it's terrifying.
Terrifying. I mean, with Joe, again, like I said, terrifying. I don't think I've ever talked about this on the podcast, but it took me, like I said, 8 months. I knew after I met him in person, I knew the first time I visited him after that, which was like 2 weeks after I knew I was in love with him. Didn't say it for 8 months. Everyone was like, he needs to say it first. He's the boy. He says it first. And then I can't remember who it was. It might have been you or it might have been Laurel, my friend Laurel, and Kelsey, who were like, they met him and then they were like seeing us together and they were like, he is terrified of you.
No, I remember saying that multiple times.
You were like, you need to say it first.
I was like, babe,
he doesn't think that that's happening.
Yeah.
And to me, I thought it was being like the most obvious. So yeah, we were already dating. We were dating for 8 months.
But we are like not. I don't want to interrupt, but like we are so similar in that way. Where like I'm like, it's so obvious. I'm not having a good time, and they're like, I lliterally would never know that.
Yeah.
In our head, it's obvious because it is in our head, but like it's genuinely not to other
all.
people.
And I thought he knew, and then when I finally said it, I was like drunk. And well, for months, I would go visit him once a month and I would be like, okay, the goal this time, I have to say it. Like I have to say this. Because you know what it was? You had listened to me and Joe on FaceTime like every single night.
Yes,
and every time we'd sign off, we'd be like, okay, bye.
I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, you'd be like, you guys don't say I love you. And I'm like, we're 5 months in to like a serious relationship.
I'm like, the fuck?
Yeah, and we're both, I was 27 or 26 at the time. Like I should be doing this.
I knew Joe loved you too. So like I felt like I like knew.
Yeah.
I was like, y'all gotta say this.
Yeah, and I had never said it before. And Joe had said it before, but he was like, it wasn't like a real thing. Like I said it because that's just what she said. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for him, I think we both kind of talked about it after. But anyway, there was one specific situation during spring training of this, I guess the first year we were together technically. Yeah, we were in West Palm Beach. He had gone to spring training. He had gone to practice, and I was supposed to be leaving for the airport while he was at practice. He ended up having to come home. So before he leaves, let's reverse. Okay. Before he leaves in the morning, I was like, okay, you got to say it. It's like the last chance you have to say it. Like you have to. And he comes over, gives me a hug, and we're just like talking for a second. And I couldn't say it. So I was like, oh, fine, I'll just say it next time. So anyway, before I get home or before I leave for the airport that day, he had to come back quickly to go get something from the house that we were staying at. And I was like, all right, it's my time. Like I get a second chance today. I get to say it.
I'm literally nervous right now.
He comes over and I'm still laying in bed. He comes over and like lays on top of me and it's just like, we're being cute talking. And that was the craziest experience that I had where I could not get the words out of my mouth.
Oh my God.
This is again 7 months in probably this time. I'm like, yeah, come out. And it would not exit my mouth. Like it wouldn't. I don't know what it was, but I knew it just wouldn't happen. So I guess I was drunk like the following month and said something, and he literally was just like, what? Like,
yeah, you were
shocked.
Drunk.
I was drunk.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say it when I was drunk, but it just like came out. And it was like a very inopportune time, and he was shocked. He was just like, that's the last thing I expected you to say. Obviously he said it back, but like the last thing.
I swear every one of my like girl boss friends, every one of my boss house bitch friends, genuinely they're the one that they have to say it first.
Yeah, because
the guy is so in love with them, and like they don't. It's like, why is it like low-key embarrassing to say
embarrassing?
Like, yeah. So it is, and it's like also like, what if they don't respond well? It's like low-key a mini proposal.
Yeah.
So like I get it, and the guy is like already scared of the girl. She's already girl bossing too much. Like the girl has to say it.
The girl has to say it.
Yeah.
When you're in our situation with mine and Joe's chemistry, I think especially like we really fall into the roles of I am the oldest sibling in my family of 3 and he is the youngest of his family of 3. So like he is this macho guy that does these things, but in our situation, I feel like first of all, he does not let me walk all over him or anything like that. It's not that kind of situation, but like I feel a little bit like the leader.
But Joe's definitely holds his own.
He does. And that's why I like him. But I feel like I do set the tone for things.
Yeah.
And he just listens to me.
I feel like in different departments, you guys like change being alpha.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like in different scenarios.
Well, at the end of the day, he's like, you know those TikToks that are like, I can turn my brain off when my boyfriend's around? Like my brain is off. Yeah. Joe does everything. Joe knows the flights and the things and the moving of the cars, and he does everything, and I'm just kind of like there for the aesthetics. and to be like, right.
And I'm just kind of there for the aesthetics.
I just like make things look pretty and like add a little spice to things sometimes.
For the aesthetics.
It's kind of the dream. Like I'm the creative director.
I'm there for the aesthetics.
He's like the manager of operations.
Yeah.
I'm the creative director. I'm like, do we need a... He gets us where we need to go, and I'm like, do we need a cocktail?
You know what I mean? Need an espresso martini?
He's like, no, we fucking don't. We get on the fucking plane.
Joe, when's my flight?
Where's our gate? I don't know. I don't want to. I don't want to get my boarding pass out.
What's
hilarious. Our gate? So Joe's like shuffling, getting his boarding pass out. That's
he's so cute.
It's a good metaphor for our relationship.
But
he's amazing. He's amazing. This is like the Joe fan club episode.
No, it's like always the Joe fan club.
He's gonna love this episode.
Yeah. Speaking of, you just went to a wedding with the people we got super drunk with.
Andy Noel?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh my god, that was like one of my most drunk days.
Really?
I was fucked up.
Yeah, all of Joe's friends are pretty fun.
They kept giving me shots.
Yes.
And it was like noon.
That happens to me quite a lot because now a lot of Joe's friends live here because he's from Northern California.
Which I'm dying to hang out with all y'all. I love Chad.
So fun. Yeah, Chad is so fun.
He's so fun.
So the wedding we went to, and this will probably come out while I'm on my little Roman vacation. Actually, I'm going to Rome in a couple weeks, but I'm hopefully we'll get dates figured out because me and TK are doing like a podcast swap, so perfect. We kind of want to be in like the realm of each other, maybe not the same week, but anyway, we were at a wedding in Temecula with we were in a house with 28 people, the whole bridal party, the whole groom's party, like
that's a big house,
huge, and it was really nice. I mean, the groomsmen had one room, like all the bridesmaids had a room for like 2 people or for them and their plus one. All the groomsmen had, it was one room with 6 beds. So 3 bunk beds. They're all queens.
Stop.
And we all the plus ones slept in the bed. So it was like me and Joe in a bed, and then like Chad and
like
Bree.
Adult sleepover.
Like it was like everybody, and we called it camp.
That's hilarious.
It was literally for like 4 nights. And like, you know me, like I need my alone time. So like everyone would leave and like I would stay in the room and like
Did you just
play.
die?
Yeah. I took a lot of naps. I was very tired. But it was an amazing wedding, and like they've been dating for like 10 years.
I know.
Also, that's the first couple I met. Like I went to Mexico with them.
They're so cute.
They're so cute. I mean, everyone was crying. Like everyone was tearing up during the vows. Like Joe, I looked up at him like in the groomsmen area, and he was just like staring straight ahead, like trying not to cry.
Oh my god.
Everyone was like really crying. It was the sweetest wedding.
Where do you want to get married?
I don't know. It's going to depend on where Joe's playing at the time. And if Joe and I do, get married, we obviously talk about that.
Yeah,
clearly in the stands.
Yeah.
I actually have this like really specific idea of doing something because it has to be in the wintertime.
Okay.
Because that's when Joe's not playing. It's his off season. Yep. And I want it, if so, it would either be on the West Coast where there's like good weather, obviously, or we dive into winter and do like New York in the winter.
I so see this?
Yeah, I was thinking one, I've also told him I don't need to do things in order. So like I could have a baby before I get pregnant, all the things. Like I don't really
I see that for you?
I could have a baby before I get married.
Before you get pregnant,
yeah,
obviously.
Yeah. Before I get pregnant, I could have a baby. I just had to, when I think about what I want, I realized I was like putting myself in this timeline in order to have kids because I'm like, I want to have a certain number of kids by a certain age, hopefully. And it's normal. Like, it's not like I don't need to rush, but I also was like kind of trying to plan for the engagement and the wedding and things around that date. And then I was like, wait a minute, why the fuck am I doing that? I don't care. I really don't care. Like I could do it. I think there's things that are easier about being married. So like maybe get legally married and then, whatever it is. My whole idea though for the New York wedding would be at whatever time, whether I have a child already or not. Yeah. A very, very, very intimate wedding. Like,
you're for sure.
Teeny tiny. Some of my family's not coming. Like people that I haven't talked to in a while, you're not coming to my wedding.
Yeah, same.
If you stress me out, you're not coming to my wedding. Like I'm not paying for that. I want it to be very, very glam. If it's on, if it's New York winter time, like I can imagine like the rehearsal dinner taking place at like a Carbone or like a Minetta Tavern.
I could so see that.
And like you walk inside like from the freezing cold and like it's like so warm and you have your little espresso teeny.
Yeah,
and,
like I can't see you having like super traditional. Like it's gonna be like city cool. Like it's just gonna be cool, like
not
aesthetic,
traditional
like
at all.
Aesthetic photos, like blurry, like
yes,
with
no
like
phones,
espresso martini.
Yes, like cigars. I feel like
don't worry, guys. I will get the BTS.
Yes, you got it. You got it. I'm literally gonna hire like people are hiring social media coordinators for their wedding.
100%.
So I feel like I would hire someone to do that.
But
I would
think
hire
about your friends
film.
that could like.
Yeah,
you know what
easily
I mean?
do it.
The Instagrammers.
I want like that kind of rehearsal vibe. Very few people. I want very intimate, like just comfortable and like easy. And
but it'll
not
be
to
like
worry.
party.
Yeah. Oh my god, with Joe's friends and my friends. Holy shit. Also like my wedding, my friends are like, holy shit, you're getting married. Like we really need to like do this big. And then I would say like I have been looking at places to get married in New York, and there's like obviously the New York Public Library, which would be a dream.
Yeah, isn't that where
night.
Kevin and Kate love?
Gorgeous, like literally gorgeous. It's very chamber-esque and like kind of creepy, which I love.
Yeah,
I want something like also like a dress that's super simple with maybe like a fur outside kind of thing, like very
snow.
City glam. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then like if I have a baby, the baby's in it. Like how sick would that photo be?
Oh yeah,
of me and Joe and
that'd
our
be
child, like at our wedding at a later date or something.
God. Hot.
Anyway, I like that idea. Just top of the line everything, but so few people that I feel like it's going to cost the same as my sister's wedding. She had like 250 people there. And like she got married in Texas.
Yeah.
But I feel like for the venue and everything with that many people was so expensive.
Yeah.
So I could have like really luxe everything.
So what do you mean intimate? Like what are we talking? Like how many people? Is this like 50? Is this smaller than 50?
I feel like 50. I would say smaller than 50, but I know that plus ones add up and like, you know, the whole thing. And Joe does have like a pretty extensive friend group. Like I would say I have like my 2 best friends from home. I've got my couple of my best friends from college, like a couple of my friends from LA. And then that's it. And it's like I'm not scared to hurt someone's feelings. I think it's like a bad thing about me and like a good thing because like I just if it doesn't make sense for you to come to my wedding, like sorry, that doesn't make sense, and I'm paying for this stuff. So.
Also, I think it's important to know like the couple. You know what I mean? Like I always think about like if someone doesn't know who I'm going to be like marrying, but like we were family friends, like that makes 0 sense.
Well, also like
I don't know.
I've been a +1 at weddings that I'm like, why am I here? Like I feel uncomfortable coming here. Like my friend Travis took me to some weddings because we were just like really close friends, and he's like everyone's bestie, so he's in literally everyone's wedding party. And so I'm at the rehearsal dinner. I'm like, I've never met these people in my life. Like I feel bad for them.
I know.
Honestly, like that I'm here. So I just don't want that experience for myself, and I also don't want like I want a phoneless ceremony. Like other times of night obviously are fine. And then how sick would it be to like do an after party at like the Box or something?
That'd be so fun.
Like something super like 1990s vibe.
I love that.
I love it. So that's
you need
my
to have like
ideal.
the ice espresso martini thingy.
Things coming down. I mean, I'm like, I always was like too, like I'm never gonna sell out for my wedding or like not gonna do any kind of partnerships, but now I'm like, fuck it, I would do that.
Oh yeah,
easily, like post later or whatever. But yeah, I've been talking about that with like some people. It sounds really expensive, so we'll see. Also the Frick in New York, it's like an art museum.
Okay.
Fucking stunning. I think you have to be a member of the Frick to have like any kind of event there, but they have weddings there and it's fucking gorgeous.
I could see you having a wedding in a museum.
I know.
That'd be so
well,
cool.
it's like there's like greenery and it's a museum. It's just like really pretty.
Yeah.
So yeah, I went from 0 to 100. Like I had no ideas, and then now Pinterest has given me all these ideas.
And I love that for you.
I'm very specific.
You know whose wedding I was obsessed with for the time was Jackie Oshery's.
I didn't see it.
Or Jackie O from the Morning Toast.
Yeah.
It's in New York.
Okay.
It was in New York, and it was like, I don't know, it was just very glam New York.
I need to look at it.
Like oh my god, and it looked like a party.
Yeah.
I remember being like, holy shit.
There's who got married? Oh, Indy Blue. People keeps popping up on my TikTok. Her wedding is really pretty.
Hers was like, hers kind of reminds me of how yours will be in the sense that like she wore like this feather like sick like hat thing, which like you wouldn't do, but you would do something.
It'd be unique.
Yeah, untraditional.
Myself.
Yeah. Like hers was sick, and I wouldn't do that, but it was so cool for her, and like just her vibe and like the way that she's just gone about life like isn't traditional anyway. So it's like no, of course she's not gonna have a traditional wedding. It was sick. And she like rented out like this huge like, it almost looks like Europe, but it was in California, I think, and just like all of her friends and family stayed at the mansion. Super people intimate.
Are doing that a lot now, and that's another option I would do, like pending the New York thing. and because Joe's family's in California, that'd be a lot easier. But yet non-traditional. Like I always thought it'd be so sick to walk myself down the aisle, literally by myself. Like my dad's not walking me down the aisle. Like I made me who I am. Like my parents had a part in it, but like it's just not. Also, we don't have that relationship. Like, it's not like, oh, my dad's gonna now give me to this man who gets to take me from him. And like, I get that it's cute, and I get when people are really close to their dads, maybe that's important to them. I respect my dad and all the things, but like, he didn't make me, I made me. So like, I'm giving myself to you, and my dad's not dropping me off. You know what I mean?
Well, he could drop you off at the beginning of the aisle, and then you could walk it.
No, I want the whole. I'm walking straight in there by myself. I'm not handling anybody. We don't want a wedding party. Because again, like, who would be in the freaking audience of my wedding if I had a wedding party? Like, you know what I mean? Like, those are the people I'm inviting to the wedding.
That's fair.
And that's it.
That's all.
Fair. That's all. What else? Not going to say vows, like, in front of everybody.
Oh, I know. I want to get a word out. I don't think.
Not doing that.
I think I'll have my dad walk me down the aisle though.
Yeah, that's such a personal thing, but I just never hear anyone talking about not doing that unless, of course, someone is like, their dad's not in their life.
Yeah.
Or he's passed or something like that.
Some people will have like their mom or like a family member. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean?
Imagine my brother walking me down the aisle.
Slay.
So cute, Brooks. No, I'm not doing that. I'm like, I do everything by myself. Why would someone walk me down the aisle? I also don't want to do father-daughter dance.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people change that stuff up, too. Like the throwing the bouquet.
Not happening.
Yeah,
the garter's not happening.
Yeah.
You know, maybe, honestly, even maybe no kids.
Oh, yeah. I won't be having kids at my wedding.
But my sister just had a child. Like, that's kind of...
Yeah, it's tough.
I don't know. Anyway, we're getting off on a major tangent about my wedding. That's not happening. We're not engaged yet. I told Joe we need to talk about it like a year into us moving in together, and that'll be in like December.
So we're just getting started.
I have this mental timeline that I'm somehow following. You can blame it on me.
Be like, so TK was wondering like,
oh, my friends are already like doing the things. I've already discussed with him. Like, we're not doing wedding parties. He knows. We've had what I'm telling you right now. We've had this discussion. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah. And baby names.
Baby names. What do you like? Are you not sharing?
I kind of don't want to share.
That's okay.
I've never even been that person, but then like, there's so many people right now that I'm noticing are sharing their baby names, and then other people are naming their baby that, and I'm like, I just like mine so much. Joe chose one, and I chose one. We talked about this like a couple months ago, and he brought up one that was like actually really good. Okay. I didn't expect that. I was like, oh, okay, sure. He chose the girl name.
Oh, cute.
Yeah. So if we have 2 boys or 2 girls, it's
is it like
annoying.
Olive?
No, but it has like a similar vibe. Okay. It's not. Well, not really. It's not like that
Olive
different.
Olive would be so good for you because martinis.
Olive.
That's kind of cute. I love
Olive. I think that they actually, not intentionally, would be like good sports names. Okay. Though it wasn't intentional. And I'll share. I'll just tell you after this.
Okay.
TK, tell us where we can find you on the internet.
You can find me on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube at TK's Juicy Polls. And you can also follow me you can also subscribe to my podcast, Making Moves, on YouTube, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts.
And I'm going to be on TK's podcast.
Yeah, so go check it out. Payton's coming on the show.
And we're ending abruptly because TK, like usually my episodes I'm like 45 minutes, that's good, and like I just looked over at my producer and it's been an hour. It's okay. A little over an hour. We could chat forever. We need more catching up.
I know,
because I need more tea.
We need real life
uncensored
real life catch up.
Anyway, all right, y'all go find TK, and I'll see y'all next week.
Love y'all.